Hello, 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 hello. Hey, everybody. Yes, we are live, computer. We are live. Hope everyone is enjoying their soon to be holidays. Can I see? Can I see my tree? I put the little tree up there. Can I see the little tree? Hope everyone is enjoying their holidays. Soon to be holiday week. 2 days from Christmas. A few days, a week from January, New Year's. Just make sure everything is good as we set up. Make sure y'all can hear me. Yep, y'all can hear me. And then we are ready to go. So, hope y'all weekend was good. Hope you enjoyed your weekend as well. My degree still has not arrived yet. Waiting on my degree. My degree still has not arrived yet, man. I don't think it's ever going. I don't think it's ever going to arrive. I don't think it's ever going to arrive. I'm just convinced. I don't think they're ever going to bring me my. Can you see that? No, good. I got it placed the other way. I don't think they're going to ever bring me my. Send me my degree yet. Probably won't get it to the new year. Is that fair? Nope. Do they care? Probably not. But it's cool. But it's cool. All right. So I named this live stream. Make sure my back is okay. I named this live stream. I think I need to. Oh, I think I figured out. I should probably. I figured out I need to be tightened a little bit because I'm like, it was a little closer than that. But it's cool. I can fix that. I gotta tighten it. I named this live stream. Why do I need a college degree if I can't get a job? Now, a lot of people don't really per se feel like college is important. I get it. College can be misleading. College can be not needed, especially if you're able to make money right away, right? But I often tell students before I put some information up here, I often tell students, that you may make money at this job, but can you go to another job if everything is not working out? Y'all see my board? My board pretty clear. As long as I can't see the number on there. That's good. So, and it's funny because it's blocked by both things. So let me show you this. I'm gonna start us off with something that might be interesting. I didn't know what an independent college was until now. So let's see what an independent college is before we just jump into things right away. All right. Let me see. G, what's up with you, G? G is in the building before the holidays. Ding a ding a ding a ding a ding. I don't got a bill. Shout out to Stock Market World with the bill. Maybe it is the lighting. Maybe it is the lighting. Maybe it is the lighting. I've been good. I've been good. How you been, G? How you been? How you been? How you been, G? So let me know, G, how you been before we get started. Before we get started, you said maybe it's the lighting. I did. I did have to work today. I did. I did have to work. Had to put them hours up today. She said I'm good. Love that. We love it. We love it. Where is, or maybe, you just good today. Maybe. Either is good today. And G, I have not found you yet. Still have not found you on Leda. I think they say LEDA. Still have not found you yet. Still working on that. Hopefully they didn't take you down. But still looking. G said, I know. See, you see what I deal with, y'all? You see what I deal with people on this live screen? You see? Not looking hard though. Not looking hard enough. Let me find out if I passed you a couple of times. Let me find out. I'm gonna go on another page. I got another page in mind. So guys, I've been playing scavenger hunt with G for like as long as I've been live streaming so far. I have not found G yet. Have not found G yet. So I will. I will. Oh, I will. All right. So, as you see, we are back on LinkedIn. So I took something from the Council of Independent Colleges. Obviously, you could tell. Obviously, you could tell they posted this like 1 week ago. And so G said they love me too much to take me down, and tooting my own horn, I'm pretty insightful. So that makes them look good. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Still warm then. So what is an independent college or university? I feel like I know this. I'm not gonna lie to you. Excuse me. When I first thought of it, I was like, do I know what an independent college is? Obviously, it's in the name, independent. So not attached to any, I guess, conference or attached to anything, because independent means you're by yourself. So simply defined, independent institutions are governed by boards of private citizens and operate independent of government control. That's my type of college. That's my type of university. Just a little. It says they are nonprofit organizations supported by tuition revenue, philanthropic gifts, and grants from foundations. Sounds like a typical college, right? Especially universities when they're getting information. Yes, you see the chat tech. The independent sector of higher education includes traditional liberal arts colleges, research universities, religiously affiliated institutions, historically Black colleges and universities, single gender colleges, and performing and visual arts institutions. Some independent colleges and performing and visual art, y'all see me do my little reading problem right there. I read the same line again. Some independent colleges and universities offer graduate programs and have schools of engineering, business, nursing, and other professions. What areas public colleges and universities are primarily funded by the state and federal governments? What areas public colleges and universities are primarily funded by state and federal governments? So if you went to an independent college, they're probably not funded by federal, they're not funded by state and federal governments. G said they are typical private colleges or universities. Right. And some fun fact, so some universities are still funded by some private universities or private colleges are still funded by the state, and some are funded by the federal government. It's kind of a weird situation. So meaning like they can use the financial aid in some cases. I thought I'll be honest with you, from my assumption, I thought most private schools didn't. I thought you couldn't use financial aid at private schools. So actually they have a video on their website as well. And then independent institutions rely on student tuition, room and board, alumni and community donations, and endowments. These are all different type of funds. You see that room and board, they rely on that heavily. I think that's going to backfire. G said, overwhelmingly private universities get some kind of federal funding. Yeah, that surprised me right there. Did not think that was a real thing. So we're going to go over here. I have a video for us. Let me see. Can y'all see that? I have a video for us. It should play. So let's see.
There's a direct relationship between the health of our democracy and the strength of higher education, and specifically private higher education.
College campuses, especially small college campuses, are one of the few places left where people from different backgrounds come together and can actually talk about those things and learn from one another in an environment of respect and inclusion.
Independent higher education excels in teaching students to be critical thinkers, but also independent higher education is just that. It's independent. And so it's able to do certain things that publicly funded institutions cannot.
I think that the independent sector plays a really important role in developing citizens for our future. I think we're really good at taking students where they are and helping them to achieve dreams they could not have imagined to be possible.
Independent colleges and universities are mission-driven, mission-focused, smaller institutions in which students find a unique environment for them to belong.
What I see happening on our campuses is a level of focus on student success, one student at a time, and bringing them an academic curriculum that's cutting edge.
At independent colleges and universities, we know our students. Our faculty have chosen to be at places like ours precisely because they want to be in a relationship with those students. When they come to walk across that stage, know them well, and continue those relationships well beyond their graduation.
What independent colleges have done over the years has really said to our nation, to students, bring us your diversity. Come to us with all that makes you uniquely you.
As we think about independent higher ed, we have a responsibility today to help our young people and to help our country as a whole learn to think hard and very carefully about all of the issues that are impacting the world today.
Perfect. Let's stop sharing. So, why did I show that video? I believe it's the same thing that we saw here on the website, on LinkedIn. It's on the website. So, G said Jack Hanna went to Otterbein and Gary Peters went to Alabama. Is that Alabama, G? Is that Alabama, ALMA? Is that Alabama? Let me know. Is that Alabama? And so with my light fluctuating, really got to get that under control. My lighting. And then G said, that $7 billion makes up financial aid and a bunch of research funding. Yes, I'm glad you said that, G. Alma College is what in the video. That's why I brought it up. Yeah, I seen it. Some of them I caught at first. I wasn't looking as hard at the colleges, and I said, "Oh, it'd be a good idea to go see these colleges." I never heard of these colleges. These are very God, these colleges are very, like they say, private, so they don't really too much. They do advertising, but not as like your University of Alabama, University of Georgia, University of Tennessee, not those type of schools. These schools are very in their lane. That's why I brought it up. Okay. And so G said something there with research funding. And I thought that was good that G said that. That was perfect timing that you said that, G, because research funding helps our country. The Colorado College spokesperson, I don't know if she was the president or not, but the spokesperson said that, you know, higher education helps our country. That's why I wrote down a little note, because it does. Not only when I know we don't take research seriously, right? Research is, I'm actually keep that up there. Actually, that G said that's perfect to keep up. People don't take research serious, and I get it, because research is like, is it important? Especially in today's time, it's like people don't really feel like it's helping. Like research dollars, some people feel like research dollars can go to things that are actually meaningful, like practical, if I guess that's the word to use. And you're kind of right, but at the same time, research helps you do, like, as I like to say, an hypothesis, if I said that right. You know, my wordplay be messing up sometimes, but it allows you to test things through that research funding, running like simulations, I like to think of it. Interviews, real life experiences. Of course, some data can always be from experience, some data, depending on who you interview, some data can always be truthful or misleading. So it's very good that you ask your questions thoroughly when you're conducting interviews, which leads us to who? You could do research at undergraduate, grad school, doctoral school, at each level, really. But that's why we have a lot of scholarly people sometimes, guys who are doing some of the heavyweight doctoral work, who are doing that heavy work, conducting researches. But like I said, research can be conducted against all levels, but it's really important with those research dollars, research funding, because schools actually compete for research funding. I wish I knew about that list. It's like a list. I can't put my finger on it, but school, it was a list. I don't know if it was on department. It probably was on Department of Education. A list of showing you like how much each institution makes from like competing for research. Like G said right here, 7 billion goes to Harvard alone. He did say 7 billion to Harvard, right? Yeah, Harvard gets like 7 billion alone. Why? Because Harvard has built pretty much, if you ask me, they pretty much did a monopoly in higher education, but they have made a lane, created a lane for their own, known to be the most excellent institution, best institution, not only in America, but perceivingly in the world. Like people come from other countries to go here. And it's like I told high school students, that 7 billion isn't all research now. It's not all research. It's not. It's mixed in with some financial aid. G said this right here. 7 billion makes up financial aid and a bunch of research funding. G said, LOL, I wouldn't say they have a monopoly either. Shoot, I would. But I'll debate you on that one. But I don't know much about Harvard to debate them and defend them. So, but Harvard has students, as I told high school students before, got people think that it's kind of like sports. That's the best way to put things sometimes. It's like sports. You are the hot shot at your college. It's G, because this up G Lane with his Ivy. But you are a hot shot at your high school, right? And you're about to go to college, Harvard, or any top-notch school, right? And you think I'm all that. I'm all that. And then you have no idea that you're competing with somebody who's trying to get into your school. That G said won't be a fair debate. And then you're trying to compete with somebody who's trying to get into this school from another country. People from around the world want to go to that school. Harvard, an example. Just using Harvard as an example. That is a world school. People travel, just like people want to go to don't get me. Just like how people want to go to Oxford, just how some people want to go to other schools in different countries from America. These schools are highly competitive. And then, guys, I know it wouldn't be considered studying abroad, but you never know. You might want to take a class at Harvard while you're at your particular school. Something I probably would have considered, probably doing an online class there. Knowing what I know now, I would have took a lot more risks in higher education. I would take a lot more risks, like just signing up for classes and seeing what to do. And then G says Columbia also has a higher percentage of international students, at least when I was there. Then G said right here, Columbia has a much higher percentage of international students than Harvard. So remember, guys, G went to Columbia, so it might be some bias in there. And then G said Harvard Extension School is very thorough. Okay. Helpful information, right? It's always helpful. So what is an independent college? From what they said in a short, concise way, it includes a traditional liberal arts college, research universities, religious affiliated institutions, historical Black colleges and universities, single gender colleges, and performing and visual arts institutions. And remember, you can always Google this. G said, no bias. LOL, Harvard is like 27, 28%. Columbia is like 39 or 40%. Not the facts. So I did want to start off with independent colleges. I thought that was a little helpful. I thought that was a little insightful, a little bit. So my next topic, as I said, why do I need to get a college degree? Why do I need to get a college degree if I'm not really getting a return on investment, right? So here we go. What's that place called? Magisa also, but Columbia is also in the most diverse city in the world, which obviously gives it a leg up. Shout out to them for that. Once again, I do this probably every other live screen. I always say, where is Columbia located? I always say this, New York. That's where they're located. G probably be like, how you not know that? I'm like, kind of giving away. I've never been to New York, guys. Never been to New York. I've never been to New York. Never. Let me tie my hoodie up. Never, ever been to the boroughs. Never. So, I have this. It's called, I don't know why they said graduate job call spells doom for college degrees. This was written by Amy, and it's by Reuters. You probably heard me say this before, guys. G said, it doesn't surprise me. Most people in the South are pretty unaware of schools like Ivy's. Yes. And vice versa. A lot of people up north, some people, I would say a lot of people up north, West Coast up north, one of them, not sure, but they are not familiar with HBCUs. It's kind of interesting. Like, that's interesting, right? Like, it's kind of cool. So it shows you that it's different learning styles to things. That shows you that. I think that's pretty cool. Cool, Fat G. Appreciate that. So graduate job cool spells doom for college degrees. I really don't know what they mean by cools. Hopefully G says something in the chat about CLLS, cools. Yeah, may know Howard. G said they may know Howard, if anything. Yeah. So this is Reuters Breaking Views prediction for 2026. Reuters is like where you go and get some stock market news sometimes, guys, and get some information. They help invest and stuff. Normally I come across them, but sometimes they talk about higher ed and the economy of where we're going and stuff. And then G also said Columbia actually had an exchange program with Howard. Okay, I think I heard something about that. Howard and Columbia. Some reason I used to get them confused a lot years ago. I used to get them confused years ago. And then for decades, so let's get into it. So for decades, higher education has seemed like a no-brainer for many teenagers. Gaining a college or university degree has long been a prerequisite for entering higher paying professions, meaning that aspiring white-collar workers have little choice but to enroll and stomach the spiraling tuition costs. Let's say that again. Gaining a college or university degree has long been a prerequisite for entering higher paying professions. Okay, COLA is a crude word. Didn't know that. I wanted to Google it, but I'm glad I did it. I felt like that's what it was leaning toward. Because that is what it's been, to be honest. Gaining a college or university degree. Gaining a college or university degree has long been a prerequisite for entering higher paying professions, meaning that aspiring white-collar workers have little choice but to enroll and stomach the spiraling tuition costs. Now, remember, guys, from another perspective of us, this is why I say go to a two-year college, then bridge to 4-year. If you are in a white-collar position and you're stomaching the crazy tuition, remember what happened to our person we did it's the crash out thumbnail. Remember the TikTok who went viral? It seems like when people cry on camera about things being hard a little bit, it gets views. So I got to work on my cry game a little bit. Maybe I should get a teardrop and start crying. G said, but they are talking about things like layoffs, though. Yeah, that's exactly what we should get toward, because G already probably read it. Good. And so G said, so CUT is like to selectively remove. Interesting. So that equation, however, is changing as artificial intelligence spreads across law firms, banks, consultancies, if I say that right, media groups, and technology companies. The number of graduate positions may decline. One recent study found that employment levels for United States software developers aged 22 to 25 declined by nearly 20%. One recent study found that employment levels for United States software developers, guys. Hello, you mogging today. Don't ruin it with tears. I got to a little bit. Just a little bit. Got to get some views. I got to start crying. Oh, nobody's watching my YouTube videos. Please come watch my YouTube videos. I'm trying to help you save money in college. Got to work on that. I got to get that down pat one day. So G be like, are you really crying? Oh, man, are you really crying? No, I'm not crying. Found that employment levels for software developers between 22 to 25 declined by nearly 20% between late 2022 and mid 2025. This dynamic will proliferate in 2026. They said it will. They didn't say it might or should. They said it will proliferate in 2026, prompting many would-be freshmen to think again. I'm be honest with you guys. Working as an academic advisor right now in the college, a lot of students are really leaving their Tyler ain't too far from you. Tyler who? A lot of students are actually reconsidering. They're like, yeah, I would get a business degree, or I would get a what they call that major computer science degree or something, but I'd rather do HVAC, air conditioning. I don't know how long this trend is going to last. I definitely think it's kind of like a stock, like how everybody in the stock market world wants to get into AI now. It's kind of the same thing with everybody trying to get into HVAC right now or technical trades right now. And so, you know, we keep talking about trades keep coming up. 18-year-olds are stepping into 60, 80,000 grand a year. Meanwhile, you have a person presenting the news to you saying, oh man, if I went back to college, I would do that. Guys, if they wasn't getting paid so good or getting paid pretty good, then people would have been switched career fields and went back to that. As I say before, hey, hold on real quick. as I said before, guys, trades, blue collar work comes with some cons. Everything is not pro. Everything comes with cons. Longer hours, working through holidays like this one. What else? Labor, hard labor, at least right now. And so unless they start making it where you're automating the machines and like you're a welder, but now instead of welding, you're just operating the machine. And I seen some hardworking people transition out of jobs, man. I'll never forget. I was helping my dad DJ an event. I wasn't DJing, but my dad was DJing. I was taking pictures. And he was like, the guy gave a speech. He gave a heartfelt speech. And he was like, I'm tired. He was talking to his wife. He said, I'm tired. He was like, I'm tired. And she was like, you want me to come pick you up? He was like, no, because he was a truck driver. And he drive all across the world all the time. He said, I'm tired. And this guy works hard, man. He hustles. It was like a trucker reunion pretty much. And he was like, I'm tired, man. I'm tired. Like, I drive and I work so much and I'm tired. And he just kept saying it. And he was like, you know, trying to make a pivot out of that career field in this long hours in that truck, especially if you don't got no back protection. I can't imagine how your back feel. Like, I had me one of them back things. Like, even I'm considering getting one because I sit here and my posture could be like sinking versus like this, talking to you all. So let's keep that in mind when you say you want to do trades, because that's actually going to lead into the workforce Pell Grant, I believe is what it's called, which we have to talk about because it kind of makes sense, but it kind of makes sense to me right now, and we just have to look through it. So G said, G said Tyler Perry so that you can become an actor. I don't know if I want to work Tyler Perry though. G said, I always say college is the way to go because the data still overwhelmingly supports that. Then G said, but I can understand why a lot of people are considering trades. Then G said, in all honesty, with trucking, I heard from many truckers that trucking ain't it anymore. Ooh. Bar for bar. Bar for bar. And shout out to the truckers, man. Shout out to the truckers. And we're not talking about truckers at all, but I understand what you go through, truckers. 110, because my dad was a trucker. I don't know if I mentioned that before. My dad was a trucker, but my dad definitely complains about that truck, man. Being in that truck, trying to provide for me, not trying, did provide for me in that truck, being in that truck. And so that truck gets real. It gets real in that truck. It'll have you thinking about going back to school. So my dad made it clear, you better go to college. You know, you better figure out something because that truck ain't it. He used to say that to me a couple of times. So as we keep going, it says universities date back centuries, but the college degree really came of age after World War II. So remember, guys, when you said that going to college is not important, learning history is not important, it's very important. It's very important. Like higher education, like they said, a college degree came into effect after World War II. So let's think about something. Let's put something in perspective. I am in the Air Force Reserves. And guys, I have not seen people blown up or anything yet. I haven't been into no deployment areas or anything yet, at least. And I'm pretty sure these war veterans, war heroes, go look at their stories. After seeing certain things in the war, it made them want to go to college. It made them calmer. And per se, you can say, I talked to people who did some real stuff in the military, and they all plan on going to college when they get out the military. Bump age, they plan on going. Why? Because it's therapeutic a little bit, going to school, reading, learning stories. It takes your mind off of things that you did that was traumatic. So G said there are plenty of YouTube videos about the trucking experience as well. Then G said my cousins do it and both are just trying to make ends meet. Shout out to them, man. I remember you mentioning that before too, G. There are plenty of companies working to automate them anyway. Yes, I actually could pull up a video. I hope they clipped it. It's by Peter Lynch said it in an interview. I'm gonna pull that up in a minute. Actually, I think I want to pull that up before we keep going. And then G said, I think that's the first time you said it plainly. Okay. And my mother actually was in Afghanistan when she was in the military. Oof. Dang, can I do emojis? I can't do emojis. Yes, I can. Let me see. Let me see real quick. Let me see something. I don't think I can pull it up. That would be a cool emoji. They always hide the emojis, y'all. Let me know if you can see this, G. This is gonna be. I'm experimenting with this one. I don't think it showed. Throw the flag. I gotta get me a flag, man. I gotta get me a flag and just be like, throw the flag up. We say some military or something. I gotta get me a flag to throw up. I gotta get me a flag. But shout out to her. And I believe, did you say your dad was in the military too, G? Didn't you say your dad was an airman as well? Okay, it didn't work. Didn't you say your dad was an airman as well? While I get this YouTube video for us to look at real quick. This is why I love having this other screen, because I can just jump and do something real quick, then come back instead of just going straight through like before. Because when G said this right here, because I can hold G comment up here, which is very helpful. Yep, he was. Yep, he was as well, but Navy. My mother was Air Force. Yep, I remember you saying that. Okay, yeah. My memory, man, G, you be reminding me my memory is pretty decent. You be reminding me that my memory is pretty good sometimes. Peter Lynch. Automate. Let's see. All right, yeah, this is the video. This is a short. This is a short that I see. Let me see. Okay, perfect. You can already see it. Perfect. Let me play it. You should be able to hear it. No, you can't hear it yet. Let me play it.
People displaced by AI and other innovations to come in the future, they'll be doing something else. It's unlikely they'll be sitting there saying, I wish I still had my job that AI took away.
Yeah, I think more importantly, one job is going to go away. These are good paying jobs.
Yeah.
The people that drive a truck, a tractor trailer from a manufacturing firm to a distribution center on highways, not through Beacon Hill, they go back that night. That should be automated.
Yeah. And likely will be, you would say?
I would say in 20 years, we'll lose 500,000 jobs.
Yeah.
That's a really, and in safety, it'll be better. Costs will go down. That's more important to me than AI.
Automation is going to have a bigger impact than AI, you're saying?
Automation has been incredible the last 50 years. And we've gone from 100 million jobs to 153, and Eastman Kodak's gone down, Peter Tire's gone down, Sears has gone away. I mean, all the growth is new companies and companies with 100 to 200 employees or less. The largest 500 companies have fewer employees than they did 50 years ago.
Yeah.
The largest 500 companies have fewer employees than they did 50 years ago. All the growth in this country is entrepreneurs starting a little shop, starting something else. That makes our country great.
The people displaced by AI and...
Okay. Why did I show that video? G didn't spare no time. G was going back and forth with me in the comment section. Then G said, I don't know what he's talking about. 500,000 is a server understatement. Try 50 million or more, I believe, anyway. G is different, man. G is different. I'm be honest with you guys. G be knowing this stuff different than me. I'm an investor, but I think G has a certain level of understanding. I don't know. It seems like it. G be like 50,000. G be like 500,000. I'm thinking that's a lot. G be like, try 50 million. I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Hold on. How you go from the thousands to the millions? Hold on. Wait a minute. How you do that? So that was famous investor Peter Lynch, guys. And I'm the type of person, he said in 20 years, we should have automated trucks and stuff like that. He said 20 years. How did he get that number? He doesn't know anything about technology, really. At least from what I know. I don't think he knows. He's like 70, almost 80 years old. And severe. He says, okay, severe is a severe understatement. And he said, yeah, in 20 years, only 500,000 is crazy. He pulled that out the bat. He said he pulled that out the bat. Right. And because it's coming, though. Anytime you hear a billionaire say something, ears open. He seems like a genuine billionaire. Genuine. So he got his money the slow way, actually, working for Fidelity as a consistent investment fund manager. So if you was in his fund, if you was old enough to be in his fund through the years, you made a lot of money off of index funds. I believe he did index funds, if I'm not mistaken. But like I said, we don't have financial people in here yet, dropping in to give us game a little bit. LOL, there are no generous billionaires, LOL. That's some game right there. That's some game. I said seemed genuine. He seems genuine. He seems genuine. I bet billionaires be like, man, don't waste my time. I bet billionaires are rude. Not trying to be rude, but I feel like they're like rude. They're just like, hey, I'm on a 30-minute call right now. What's up? What can I do for you? What's up? Like, you already wasted 5 minutes. Is that how it is, G? Do they move like that? Is that the type of time they be on? So while G give us a response to that, I think that video is important. I think that video is insightful for anybody. I actually sent that video to my older brother before. Not that one clip, but I sent him the whole interview. Because I watched that interview twice, actually. And I'm going to watch it again probably when I'm driving. Because it's so short and a lot of information in there. I'm the type, I got to hear it multiple times, then I'll probably write it down. And so G said, I don't think so. People like Peter Lynch are trying to move things in the direction they want them to. Okay. So has very little to do with actual data. Data. And so as we get back to the article too, in the 1940s, fewer than 20% of Americans had one. By 2022, that proportion had reached nearly 40%. Underpinning that trend was a financial benefit linked to the rise of white-collar services work in the West. Underpinning that trend was a financial benefit linked to the rise of white-collar services work in the West. Specifically, graduates find it easier to get well-paid desk jobs. But I'm sure that was in the proposed to minimize the reaction. Maybe anyway. Okay. So right here it says in the second quarter of 2025, guys. So second quarter is usually like, at least in stock market world, guys. I don't know what they signify as the second quarter. Like, I know different companies have their own second quarter in the stock market world. So it's funny they're saying in the second quarter of 2025. If we Googled it, I bet you G know. I'd be just asking G questions. G probably like, I'm just trying to listen. And I'd be like, G, what's the second quarter of 2025? But usually a quarter moves in 3 months. Most people probably know that. If you don't, that's usually how it goes. What are the months? I don't know. I do not know. Because for example, in the stock market world, every company can have their own quarters. Or not their own quarters, but do their quarters differently from other companies. So, for example, salaried employees over the age of 25 with at least a bachelor's degree earned $17.32 per week. Once again, salaried employees over the age of 25 with at least a bachelor's degree earned $17.32 per week. compared to $960 for Americans with a high school diploma or nothing more, and nothing more. This 80% wage premium, currently equivalent to about $40,000 of additional income a year, has been fairly consistent since 2000. They're giving us some data there. Based on the data from the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, I often visit there sometimes when I used to write papers to show a compare and contrast. It's at the very heart of the implicit contract between students and colleges. Why else would undergraduates in the United States swallow the all-in $500,000 cost of a 4-year degree? Why would you swallow a $500,000 cost of a 4-year degree? G said in 20 years, there are 2 places we will most likely be, and neither at this point seems fun, with a third moonshot option. That's a bar running over my head, G. I hate when you do that to me sometimes. You throw them bars over my head. It's bars right there. Then G said, they coordinate usually with the government where the fiscal year starts in October. Yes. I knew G would know. I knew G. See, and that's why you need people like G in the chat. Help make things a little more smoother for us. So, hey, I ain't pay $500,000 for no 4-year degree. I ain't pay $500,000. If I pay $500,000 for a 4-year degree, I'm gonna tell you this right now. I would have put that $500,000 that I would have paid for college, I would have put that in the stock market. Just being real, keeping it real. If you take $500,000 out to go to college, you deserve to be smacked on the wrist. That's a smack on the wrist, because I'm not paying $500,000 for no college. I don't care if it's the almighty you're going to be successful college. I'm not doing it. G said, looking up is good for you. Looking up is good for your mind anyway, so I don't want to take that from you, LOL. You're right. See, G, like, I'm not trying to make you lazy. Do it yourself. That's the nice way of G saying do it yourself from now on. That's the nice way. So that estimate comes from the Education Data Initiative and includes everything: tuition, living expenses, loan interest, and foregone wages. Remember, guys, they always include living expenses. G said, yeah, a lot of people are not paying $500,000 LOL anyway. Yeah, they exaggerated, and it's a little bit. Oh, we have a chart. So college degrees are generally associated with higher weekly earnings. So, guys, we were probably like 1 year old around this time. Some of us wasn't even born yet in 2000. Oh, the foregone wages is how they pad that number. You must have statistics or something. You know something with that, and I don't know. So what do you know about that when you said they pad that number? G said, oh, the foregone wages is how they pad that number. Yeah, you need to teach me something like that, G. What you know about that? Educate me a little bit. Just, spit me a little fact or something. While G does that, I'm gonna be learning this graph real quick. So less than a high school diploma, that's right here. They're saying what you make generally associated with higher weekly earnings. The median usual weekly earnings of a full-time wage and salary worker is age 25 years or over. Spin a little dip right there. Steadily rising, as you see. Now, as you see, like bachelor's degree guys, they're saying, I don't know why they did pay weekly. Instead of just doing every 2 weeks, because everybody gets paid. Most people get paid every 2 weeks. Some people get paid monthly, and some people get paid, I guess, weekly. I don't know why they did weekly though. But they're showing you like the Q1. As you can see, it's a tiny Q1 in there as well. Y'all can't even see my finger, Lord. But you see they got like a Q1 in there, and then they got a Q4 changes. But as you see, the graph is slowly going up. And then some college or associate's degree, you're kind of stagnant. Then right here, high school graduates, no college. You're right below it. You see? Then right here, they say less than a high school diploma. So if you don't got a high school diploma, then you're just in that range. I know I'm zooming across, but literally you're just like, it's self-explanatory. The highest it hit, or at least it looks like it, yeah, the highest is 1754. The lowest is you probably say 743 compared to this. So G said, well, for starters, Columbia, the most expensive university in the world, it may actually be the only place where all college-related expenses be 500,000. Then G said, they do weekly because it's better for plotting data. Then you take a stat class? No, I didn't take a stat class. I probably should have. I did not take a stat class. I didn't take stats. I took accounting multiple times. I never took stats. Crazy, right? Crazy, right? I know. I took stats, not stats. I took accounting like 4 times. That's why I'm pretty good at reading balance sheets and stuff, because I took accounting like a lot of times. Now you got me wondering, should I take stats at this community college I work at? Should I take stats now? Now you got me thinking. Take a stats class at Harvard. Maybe I should enroll at Harvard and take a stats class. Take stats 1101. And G said, LOL, I seen that is this. LOL, I see then that is why this is kind of foreign. Why 4 times? Yeah, it's kind of foreign a little bit. Mostly I just focused on the general, like going up, and you see like less than. Then hopefully they break it down to us down here, guys. You know, makes it easier for us. Unless you know, guys, I'm human. See, I got a master's degree and I didn't take a stats class. Don't ask me how. G said, it's free. G said, yeah, take the online stats. G said, take the online stats class they offer through the extension school. It's free and taught by real Harvard professors. MIT has something similar. Not G giving me free game. G gonna be like, did you sign up for the class, Henry? I'm gonna be like, maybe. A Columbia stat class for free through extension school. Okay. G said, I did a lot of independent study through them when I was younger. Interesting. How younger was you, G? Was you in high school? You don't mind me asking? If you don't mind me asking. So they said the big challenge comes from AI, which threatens to remove many graduate jobs that could justify enrolling in the first place. The most extreme version of this view comes from Darrow Kamadi. Do you know who this is, G? I'm about to Google them real quick. He the CEO of Anthropic. Interesting. G said, yeah, high school. Yeah, high school. That's crazy. He is the CEO of Anthropic. So, guys, Anthropic, of course, another Stanford baby, guys. We got another Stanford baby, guys. And he's worth $3.7 billion. Guys, come on now. Come on now. They're teaching something in these schools. He is the CEO of Anthropic. So what that means, I'm going to tell you what that means. I think they're public. No, they're private. I thought they were public. I really thought they were public. They're not, though. They're not. Oh, look. No, they're not. Yeah. No, they're not. So I thought they were public for a second. Maybe I'm thinking of, hey, what's that company? It's a company I feel like I'm thinking of. It's probably going to hit me later. What they do? Anthropic is an AI safety and research company that is working to build reliable, interpretable, and steerable AI systems. What the freak does that mean? Sometimes I'd be like, what does that mean, man? Like, how are you working to build steerable AI systems? Ugh. So they are just well funded. They are still in the early stages. Okay. So this guy went to Stanford. As you know me, I focus on higher education. He went to Stanford, and I followed the money. Did I go to Stanford? No. But I noticed that a lot of people who went to college have billions of dollars. Mark Zuckerberg didn't go to college. Okay. Okay. Bill Gates to go to college. Okay. Are you them? Are you? I think they labeled them as a genius. I don't know. Gee, is Bill Gates and Mark Zuckerberg, are they labeled as geniuses? Yes. Not a Democrat. Why is people looking that up? Because I remember G was breaking down geniuses to me, guys, and I'll be honest, it was kind of not scary, but kind of interesting scary when he was explaining it. According to AI overview, it says subjective, but G said, I wouldn't call them geniuses, to be honest, but they are smart somewhat, I guess. Oh, well. You did, and it got real dark. Not in a bad way. It got interesting, but interesting dark in a good way. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. And so, but guys, follow the money, man. Like, don't forget, he did go to Harvard. He did go to Harvard. Not him, but Mark Zuckerberg. So, or he studied. And so this guy went to Stanford. And obviously he focused in the AI industry while he was going to Stanford. Stanford has always been ahead of the curve. So a view comes from Dario, the founder of Claude model developer Anthropic. He said in mid 2025 that AI could wipe out half of all entry-level white-collar jobs within 5 years, lead to 10% to 20% unemployment rates. What you think about that, G? You also have to remember these are older people with opportunity up the wazo. Hold on, man. What? How old is he? Okay, you got me again. You got me again with that, G. I was going to say he's not old, but he is 42. He's 42. G said you got to remember they're older. Me and G have a debate about these people who went to these colleges, and G is like they're older. That's why G is proving the point that college is not like as valuable as it used to be, and I'm like it is. And then the first person I brought up was Sam Altman. Sam Altman was way older than I thought, guys. I thought Sam Altman was like, I thought he was about our age. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I thought he was about our age. Thought he was a young gunner, but compared to us, he's older. Like, yeah, like he really went to college probably when I was in high school, for example, or middle school, probably. I'm telling you. G said, I like 25% he uses. I like 25% he uses a percent because the real number would feel unfathomable. No, he is a old man. Look. Nah, 42. 42 is not old. 42 is not old. Sam Altman, like what? 40? Come on, man. He's a fresh 40 at that. He's a fresh 40. What school is this? Is this a K-12 school? Oh, 7 through 12. Oh my goodness. Let's go to that. St. Louis. Okay. Interesting. I knew that. Yeah. 40 is not crazy old, bro. 40 is not crazy. But G said 10 to 20% is very okay. So, guys, I think G is saying that, or G is agreeing that this person saying that my job could be gone. In mid 2025, that AI could wipe out half of all entry jobs. He said in mid 2025, but I didn't get gone. I'm still here, G. I'm still here. I'm still here, G. Old enough for the world he grew up in to be vastly different than the one we grew up in. Okay. Yeah, that he got it. That's 4 decades right there. 40 years old, you lived through 4 decades. I'm going on my 3rd decade pretty soon. So, and then G said, I think that number is actually bigger though. Interesting. Hey, so I'm in a good job. You got to admit, G, I'm in a pretty good job right now. And so, guys, you might say right now, how does this apply back to me going? How does this apply to me going to college? If you're dropping in, or you made it this far in the live stream, you always want to start at a 2-year bridge to a 4-year. And right now, things are a little tricky right now. G, do you think this is recommended? I didn't do the, what is it called? I didn't do the disclaimer. I just jumped straight in it. Now I got to put the disclaimer back in the comments, in the description. I got to put that in the description. And so G said, give it 10 years, I believe 50 to 60%. G said, I believe 50 to 60% or more if everything that can currently be automated is actually automated. Interesting. And I feel like my job as an academic advisor, guys, I literally talk to students. I call them, I reach out to them. G said, yeah, too late. I've already screen recorded it and we'll use it as advice. You sound like them people that be like, yeah, I'm gonna get back with you on that. See me in court, buddy. You sound like those people. And so if I lose money, you would get served. You can't. You started to your college. You already saved you more money than the university. I already saved you more money than the university. Saved you more money. But do you think though that I know we talked about this a little bit before. I want to bring it back up. Should you go to school for artificial intelligence as it's growing? We know, I feel like I'm comfortable to say that I feel like artificial intelligence is going to be here. It's not going nowhere, personally. I don't know how big it will get, but because I can't predict the future, but it's not going nowhere. So do you think kids should start like finding schools, if they can, that's near them, that's offering that? Should they go to school for artificial intelligence? Or should they do something that's more like, I say, communication based? Because you're always going to need communication. I feel like, especially with the way we're going with technology, you're going to need communication, like human behavior, like talking to people. Like people are going to need, like, for example, I think people are going to need more therapy in the future than ever. Because it seems like social media is never going away. It seems like more people are engaging with social media. So it feels like you're going to need a human. So you might want to work in a human job, not like a job that automation, but a human job, public speaking, like G say, doing some content creation, getting on camera. What else is like? I work as an academic advisor. I talk to students. Some students just come in and want to sit in there and talk to me. You know, I'm on a 30-minute crunch. I got another appointment, but they got to talk to someone. And then the school would be devastated if you got rid of us. And they're just talking to a straight automated AI system. So G going crazy in the comments as we keep going through this. So I'm going to stop there on this. This is a pretty good article, right? And I'm going to scam down. They said something about Microsoft. I'll look at that real quick. Then I'm probably just going to fast forward to the bottom. And if you want to read this article, guys, remember, this is what it's called. I believe it's a free article because I don't have an account with them. I just went on their website. So remember, this is where the name of the title is. If you want to finish it, I like to go through things like this. And so going to go through G comments. Then we're going to talk about workforce Pell Grant a little bit. And then if G is feeling it, we will do a college review because these colleges review is going to help me post these videos while I'm not by my computer doing live streams over the holidays. So let's keep going. I appreciate it, G. Really appreciate it. So G said, when I was in college, G said, when I was in college, you was honestly foolish not it was up to you. Hold on, what you say? When I was in college, you was honestly foolish. Not it was not what is up and coming when I was in college. Oh. He said AI was on his way up. You were foolish not to think it was on his way up, and coming when I was in college. Okay. G said it's too late. LOL. Not too late, but it won't hurt. I don't think it's too late, guys, to get into AI. I think it's good timing. Like, of course, I do think like from an investment standpoint, I do feel like you're a little like behind, because when I made that investment in that company, everybody doesn't like, it was early, but we didn't know it was gonna kick in. And so I don't ever think, like G said, it won't hurt, but I don't think you're behind yet. 2030, I think you're behind. What you think, G? I think at 2030, you'll be behind with AI if you're not in already by it. So G said, we need a system that takes care of people at the bare minimum, because the market simply won't shift fast enough to accommodate the vast number of newly unemployed. And also, a lot of universities have been slashing funding for the arts, including Columbia, to a certain degree. Yes, I don't know why they're cutting the arts, because we need the arts. We need the arts. Why are you cutting the arts? President Obama literally said we're going to need people who can communicate. We're going to need people who can talk. Why are we cutting the arts? Why are we cutting the arts? Oh, the camera up here. Why are we cutting the arts? Why? Stop cutting the arts. Stop. Stop it. Stop it. Got me zooming in. And so G said, I only say it's too late because you can know and use AI without a computer science degree. If you want a more intimate understanding of AI, then sure, study it. But pretty soon, aka by the time a freshman gets there, 4 year AI will and is currently improving itself. Interesting. That was an interesting answer right there. That was like a smooth injection answer. Like, hey, it's already improving and getting better. So if you want to get better with it, you can. I like that answer right there, G. I do. I really like that answer. And so we got here Microsoft boss Nadalia. Oh man, I hope I said it right. Nadalia has said that 20 to 30% of the company's code is now written by AI. That's scary. And remember, guys, we spoke about Microsoft doing huge layoffs. Microsoft did huge. I see that. You see that? Why does it light up when I do that? Let me see something right quick. Hold on. Hold on right quick. Interesting. Is it motion? I have no idea. That's interesting. I'm gonna figure that out after the video, after the live screen. So G said the real money will be cybersecurity. I heard that. I keep hearing that. I keep hearing that. I keep hearing that. Y'all better listen now. Y'all better listen. I keep hearing that. It's almost too late with big data, so get ahead of the curve and go cybersecurity. When you say go cyber, like getting a degree, are you recommending, G, or saying like people should get or start getting their degree in cybersecurity? Is that what you're saying? And then, yeah, are you saying that people should go and get their degree in cybersecurity? So specifically quantum cybersecurity. So I talked to a kid at Georgia Tech a little bit before, And he was even giving me a little spiel on it. I wasn't just blindly listening to him. He was a freshman, so he hasn't taken any major course classes, but he had a good idea about the quantum a little bit. And so he had an idea, better idea than I did for sure. Cause I haven't done, it's like quantum, the way it's described in a simple answer, quantum is like a super computer. That's how it's been, or super speed computer or something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong, G. And G said, no, if you do computer science, do quantum. And a little AI. Because quantum is going to feel AI, right, G? Quantum is going to power AI to be better. And then G said, I'm not saying do cybersecurity. I'm not saying cybersecurity related comp science is best for the future, proving a comp science degree. If I read that right. Specifically quantum, only because every traditional computer security system can be broken with a quantum computer in a little to no time. That's scary. So quantum cyber. Quantum was around before AI and is only being used currently to replace traditional supercomputers. I'm just writing this down. So I'm going to do some research on quantum. I can tell G be doing research on this, which you can study currently in comp science, which is where at this moment anyway, with a little AI is where the future of comp science majors really lie. And then my next question real quick. You did say a such thing as like cybersecurity. Then you did say, I want to make sure, or you didn't say, I want to make sure, G. There will be something that's quantum cyber, right? You did say that right? Me and Gigi going back on the live screen. It's hilarious to me. So, yeah. And then the article at the end. Oh, interesting, guys. All right, let's look at this real quick. They put a little graph in here real quick. I like graphs, and I like to see what other people think. So it says right here that universities can see the writing on the wall. Universities can see the writing on the wall. If universities can see the writing on the wall, guys, and they're not stopping you from choosing your major, beware. Beware, right? With many now trying to expand into courses related to careers that are more AI-proof, healthcare has emerged as one of the more resilient professions since nurses. Physical therapists and midwives cannot be replaced by large language models. It's funny because my brother cousin is a physical therapist. He locked in. And more people are getting physical therapy, for sure. Still, there's a limit to how much universities can pivot away from their heritage and offering a scientific and liberal arts education. Still, there is a limit to how much universities can pivot away from their heritage and offering a scientific and liberal arts education. Hey, man, please don't let me be down in here. Please don't let me be down in here. Please don't let me be down in here. So if you got a nurse practitioner in 2021, you're making this, they're saying about you're going to have like a 46% career growth if you are a nurse practitioner. Whew, that's a lot. They're saying, what's this, choreographers? Like dancers? Yeah, dancers, choreographers. They're going to have a, hey, get down. They're going to have a 30% increase of money. Crazy. Crazy. So I might have to go to dancing Billie Jean. So they going to increase about 30% in pay. Physician assistants, about 28%. Mental health counselors, 22% or 22%. I agree about health, but I don't think they are complete out of the woods. And then nursing instructors and teachers, they saying teachers are going to get an increase in pay. Not if politics. So guys, you got to always factor in like politics, funding, right? You got to hope that your human people are doing what's necessary to help people like that are instructors and teachers, because, you know, I wonder, do I fall under that category though? I wonder. So G said, and eventually healthcare will have 3 AI apocalypse. They will have to increase their pay eventually because there is a surge shortage, LOL, just to keep them. Yeah, it's terrible right now with teachers. And so, you know, I never see higher education in these slots. Like, I'd be so like, is that a good thing or bad thing? Like, are we just like bystanders, like just watching everything happen? Because I'd be like, is that good or bad? And so you got coaches and scouts. They're going to increase their pay about 20%. Athletic trainers, 18% pretty much. Physician therapists, 16.9%. And I will not pronounce this one at all. But occupational therapy, OT, they're going to increase by 14%. So I think I already had that. I think most schools have falsely shunned AI, which will bite them soon. Yup. That always made me think about higher ed. British universities have either opened or switched from being a more vocational school known as polytechnic. As a result, the sector now look oversupplied. 1 in 5 British universities are exploring mergers to survive. 1 in 5 mergers to survive. We have schools, guys, we have schools in America that are merging. Like Georgia Southern and another school, I think Georgia Southern and Armstrong just did a merger, if I'm not mistaken. No, Georgia, I'm just typing in Georgia Southern merger. Think this, yeah. Is that it? Let's see. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, since I'm in Georgia, guys, I pay attention to that stuff. G said, I think most schools have falsely shunned AI, which will bite them soon. That includes higher ed. Don't do me like that, G. Don't come for me like that, G. Don't come for me, G. I spelled don't come. So right here, this is something in Georgia I heard about. They said Regents gave final approval for Georgia Southern University and East Georgia State to consolidate. So they didn't merge, but Let me make sure they didn't. So to consolidate Georgia Southern University and East Georgia State College, the move clearly clears the way for new institutions to operate under Georgia Southern University name. Yeah, so they did merge together essentially. They did merge them together essentially. And so the reason I showed that, as y'all see, you can see, if you plan on going to any of these schools, as you can see, they said 1 in 5 British universities. It's a world thing happening with this. You see what I'm saying, guys? You see what I'm saying? Doing a little macro right here. So 1 in 5 British universities are exploring mergers to survive. And it says Times Higher Education reported. Do I have them bookmarked on here? Check that. So yeah, it's getting real. It's getting real. It's getting really real. And nobody's paying attention. That's why your boy has been investing heavily. Hard. I sent G something. If G is still in here, G should probably see it. So if you're in the screen, you might get some ends on that. Okay. So I got one more thing to talk about. Remember, guys, you can find this article. It's a pretty good article, a little bit. You know, going through it with interchangeably talking to G. And so that's some information in there. She got a LinkedIn. I was just seeing the LinkedIn. Oh, yeah, I'm going to follow her on LinkedIn for sure. For sure. I'm going to keep that up because I'm following on LinkedIn. So let me see. What G said? What G talking about? It's always been worldwide. Jeez. I feel like G just be holding back on the comment section. G said, it's always been worldwide, and Europe will feel it more because innovation is concentrated in the US. What G said, Grab was in the right place at the right time and was able to monopolize other apps and ability to understand that market. And was able to monopolize other apps. You know which Grab I'm talking about, G? You know which Grab I'm talking about, right? I'm not gonna lie to you, G. I heard about that company through that guy I watch on YouTube. I'm not gonna lie to you, G. I got a lot of shares, man. I got a lot of shares of that company, man. I got a lot of shares, buy and hold. Like, I got a lot of shares, G. You gotta let me know, G. Give me an idea. This is not my company. I solely chose myself. I gotta start doing research to find me a new small cap. Anthony Tan. Aim it. Aim it. Aim it. So do you think it's a good company? I looked at their reports. They've been doing really good on earnings. They have a lot of cash. The only thing I'm hesitant about on them, Grab as a company, real quick before we start the next topic. The only thing I'm hesitant on them about, G, is they're not an American company. That's the only thing I'm hesitant on. So I had to look at their 6Ks, you know, struggled through a lot to get to their 6Ks. Yeah, he is. Yes, he is. But I was trying to get your opinion on the company. Like, what you think about it, to see if we talking about the same company. Yeah. We talking about. I'll show you real quick. Talking about this one. Yeah, we talking about the same one. I actually looked up his college too. He went to the University of Chicago. Then he went to Harvard. I was like, impressive. He went to some impressive school. Guys, pay attention to the pattern, man. Pay attention to the pattern, man. Pay attention to the pattern, man. He got him a couple bill. He got him a couple, almost, not yet. He will soon, though. Yeah, we talking about this company. And his right hand. Can't forget about the right hand. Can't forget about the right hand. Can't forget about the right hand. You see it? You see it? You see it? She went to Harvard too. And what's the University of Bath? Where is that? Oh, that's in England. See? Learning something right here. We learned something a little bit right here. So G said, yeah, what I said still stands, and they have a lot of cash, and in the Asia, super apps are the rage. Yeah, what I said stands, and they have a lot of cash, and in Asia, super apps are the rage. Okay, which is completely different from the West. And when you say super apps are the rage, what that means? So you like them too. So G said, let me see what you said before, G, before I say that. Oh, was able to monopolize other apps and the ability to understand that market. Yeah. So hopefully we start seeing some reflection on it, man. Hopefully we start seeing some reflection on it. I'm just buying. Like, I don't think you G said, real quick before we keep going. So if it's about money and growth, unless something big comes and shakes up, they're going to become too big. Oh, come too big to fail. Okay. You got some shares of it? I'm not gonna lie, I had to get in, man. I had to get in. I was like, I didn't understand it. I just knew they were doing a lot of things, and he mentioned it. So, which is why Western companies can't quite compete. And if Western companies can't quite compete, we in the driver's seat. So now we got to find us a cybersecurity company, G. We got to find us a cybersecurity company. I got some others on honorable mention, but when this one, I guess, gets too big to fail, when this one keeps growing and executing, of course, they got to keep executing. So hopefully if they execute, and I only say too big to fail, it's like Uber no longer being available. Impossible to comprehend. G said impossible to comprehend. Yeah, okay, so I felt pretty good because I could not. That is grab for a lot of Asian companies. Woo. This has been trendy lately. Shout out to my girl. She bought me this. I don't buy coffee. Oh, appreciate you. G, you didn't mention if you got shares of it. You didn't mention. Whoa, what? That's different thinking right there. What? Are you an angel investor? And so while G does that, I'm going to pull up what I said I was going to pull up. And it's already up. Respect. Once again, G, what did you go to school for? Did you study business when you was at Columbia? Did you study business? You giving me business guru vibes. Like, I really be taking notes from you, G. Just having conversations the way you, I guess, go at things and assess it. It's just different. You could just, like I tell people, man, I'm like, this person I be talking to on live, man. Like, guys, y'all, I don't think y'all understand this person. Like, how they really are, like, I don't think y'all really understand it. And I do be hyping them up. Now, do I know if they run companies and stuff? I will not know because I haven't found them yet. But guess what? When I find them, I'm going to say, hey, support your boy. G said, I studied computer science, but I think I've always been very entrepreneurial and very outside the norm. Yeah, you be overhyping me, LOL. That's crazy work. Being overhyped is crazy. I show love. I show love. That's zoom this camera all the way out. Yeah, I think I did. Someone telling me I should have put this sign. I might end up moving this opening sign. When you find me, maybe I will support you. We'll see. Support. You already supported me now. This is the best support right here. Because people be thinking I be talking to myself when I be on here. Big bro. Now you big bro, ain't you? You older than me, right, G? You older, right? So Wajid said that. Like, what? Oh, the sound gonna get better too, G. I got a microphone on the way. So when I get back on the live screen, I'll probably come back home a little early so I can start live streaming. So I might spend New Year's up here. I don't know yet. But G said, I don't know, maybe. I'm 26. Come on, don't play me, G. Don't play me like that. I'm gonna have a microphone, so the sound gonna sound better. Somebody got it off my list. Shout out to them. So we're gonna find out. And then I will have a mic for the sound to be better. So G playing games, man. G like, I don't know. G know 26. Like, G be playing. So the clock is ticking for colleges and states to get ready for workforce Pell. G said I'm also 26. Okay. So what is a workforce Pell? I don't know. I don't know what a workforce Pell is, guys. We talked about workforce Pell a little bit in the summer. If you remember, y'all see the Merry Christmas tree up there? So in the summer, we talked about workforce Pell a little bit. And it was part of I like to say it was part of the One Big Beautiful Bill, to be honest with you. But it was in that summer where all the executive orders were going on. And so, of course, this got something to do with specifically the U.S. Department of Education, the current administration, whoop-de-whoop, as I like to say. Colleges are excited about work. They say colleges now. I don't know how true that is, but this was written by Claire. Shout out to Claire Murphy. Colleges are excited about workforce Pell grants, but getting the money will be no easy feat. Not fit, but feat. And so that was made clear this week as the Education Department officials, industry advocates, and experts discussed plans to carry out the major policy change, which will allow low-income students to pay for workforce training programs with Pell grants. Hold on right quick. Now, let's put one and one together real quick. I'm not trying to scare nobody. You don't see nothing on here about welders getting an increase in money. You don't see nothing about HVAC unless they were specifically focusing on these specific industries. You don't see anything about trade schools getting an increase in pay. If they was going to have an increase in pay, they should have been in here. I'm just saying. Now, this person right here wrote this. Once again, they could have been using their best judgment. I guess, of industries. It's something to think about. I'm just saying. It's something to think about. So as we keep going, they said this was made clear this week, as I probably read this, but I'm gonna read it again. This was made clear this week as Education Department officials, industry advocates, and experts discuss plans to carry out the major policy change, which will allow low-income students to pay for workforce training programs with Pell Grants. Now, when I think of workforce training programs with Pell Grants, I don't know. I'm like, it's already a lot of workforce programs like welding, HVAC, carpentry, so many more, right? And so G said, I think it would help, but I don't think it would solve the problem. Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing. You know who are going to be in business? And you know who's going to be in business through everything with AI coming? This is going to get a big increase. This right here is going to get a big increase. Barbers are forever, man. As long as this hair grows, barbers are forever. Undefeated. Barbers are undefeated. Barbers be like, man, we like therapists. We like, cut your hair. Barbers be like, man, we like your counselor. Oh, I said that already, therapist. They're like, man, we your disciplinary. In some barbershops, it's like barbers are just like undefeated. He said, especially with cuts to several programs that do something already like that. G said, LOL, I have talked to a lot of barbers and they say if you ain't willing to do social media, it's kind of hard to make good money. I would go to a small area and be a barber. I think barber shops are more about location for sure. Like really location at this point. Everybody wants a barbershop. I will go to I'm gonna be honest with you. Especially when less people are going to barbershops because the increase in prices scare people off. Yeah. Like right now, if I was a barbershop, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I'm a black male, and I know I can probably, if I was a barber, I know I would cut black people's hair, just being real. I would go to a predominantly white area and become a barber. I would just do that. Because I have a whole lot of people. It's I get competition. It's getting harder to justify increases. It is, most definitely. Shout out to the barbershop I go to in Columbus, Georgia. I think they're called The Barbershop, literally. So they got the name advertisement off rip just by me saying The Barbershop. Shout out to them, man, because they've been keeping their prices steady since I was in high school. I started going to them senior year of high school. I'll never forget. And yeah, they shout out to them. And G said it's getting hard to justify, very hard. So with a projected rollout date set for July. So remember, I've been talking about summer. I've been talking about 2026. Go watch the old videos. I've been talking about since 2026. There's going to be a lot of changes in 2026 in higher ed. It's going to be a lot of changes. A lot of changes in higher ed, man. And the plethora, what's that word? Plethora? How you say that?
Plethora.
The plethora. Oh, increasing my vocabulary today. The plethora. So what does that mean? A large or excessive amount. Okay. So in a plethora, hold on, I say it one more time.
Plethora.
The plethora of requirements. So excessive of requirements to navigate, institutions face a tight timeline to build the necessary infrastructure. I'll be honest with you, working in the community college, I have not been hearing about this lately. I have not heard about the workforce Pell Grant. Maybe because I don't work in financial aid, which makes me want to go ask them. Hold on, let me see if my bro texts me back. Let me see something right quick. Let me see something right quick. He didn't text me back, so he might be asleep. He might be asleep or something or busy. Oh, it's Friday. No, it's Tuesday. I don't know why I thought it was Friday. I don't think he up for some reason. He probably gonna contact me tomorrow. My bad, bro. He gonna say my bad, bro. I was blah 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 blah. LOL. Oh, it's Friday. No, it's Tuesday. It's Tuesday. I thought it was Friday. G said, yeah, you have looked that up before, but the more you do, the more you will learn. That is exactly why you have heard. No, it's Tuesday. I know, man. I know. It's Tuesday. And so Education Department officials reached consensus Friday on proposed regulations for workforce Pell, which was included in the budget reconciliation law. So if you remember us talking about this, guys, this is one of my favorite websites. I really didn't want to show y'all this website. But I don't think it's a secret. I know G probably knew about this website. This website right here, if you want to keep up with laws and stuff, look, it became law. That thing zoomed through these right here. This is how I was tracking the One Big Beautiful Bill. Zoom right through and became law. This is, if you really want to know what's going on with things, this is where you come, guys. Now, do you think I sit here and look at this all day? No. Only when necessary. If it's a law and I'm trying to figure out something, I will come here. Congress.gov used it I used it a few times in grad school. I used it a few times. Like the right up-to-date things going on and to compare from past to present. But I was getting that work in graduate school, guys. I was hitting push-ups in graduate school. Look, G said no one actually uses it unless it's research. Hey, right? I was researching where I was using this. I just thought I was the smartest using this. I just felt like I was the only person using it. I felt so like secretive. G said you will usually hear about a law through the news, right? And I don't be trusting the news sometimes. I'd be like, they're not telling the truth. I had to go look. I got to go look for myself and be like, is this law really in law? And then be like, nah, it's on the president's desk. Or it has to pass Senate, go back to House and all. They go back and forth sometimes. So, or resolving. It's dope. I like that. They making it a little simpler. Shout out to G though. GB is funny because I just got people to talk to about this. It'd be hilarious. Be so much information out here. So that's what they're talking about when it was passed in the summer. If you looked harder, you'll probably find that it was passed in the summer because it's crazy. It was introduced, guys. Look, introduced 5/20, and it was passed by the end of summer. Crazy work. So the change opens up the nation's largest financial aid program to students enrolled in short-term career-focused programs. He did not hit me back yet. Let me see. At that point. So y'all, you want a financial aid specialist, man? You got to work for them. They're hard to get to. They're like, I don't want to talk about financial aid in my off hours, Henry. Please. So the change opens up the nation's, we said that, the largest financial aid program to students enrolled in short-term career-focused programs, a majority of which are offered at community and technical colleges. The only thing I don't know about the Workforce Pell Grant is that a lot of certificates, for example, actually, you couldn't use Pell in a certificate, I believe. This is why I need my financial aid person. I believe you couldn't use certificates depending on where you're at in the state. I believe you couldn't use your Pell Grant for certificates. I believe you'll get like Zelle or something, like another type of funding. So now they created this. I hope this Workforce Pell is not tied to students' Pell, if that makes sense. I hope it's not tied to their regular Pell Grant, because that's going to be a problem. So the legislation set a broad guidelines and thresholds for completion and employment, but it left many of the details concerning eligibility and accreditation up to the education department. That right there is going to be, whoo, that's going to be crazy. That's going to be crazy. While advocates for these training programs see Workforce Pell Grants as a vital tool to help low-income students gain career skills that don't require a years-long degree. Guys, you know how I feel about this. Get your education. Now, the strategy I would give you if you're in here watching this right now at an hour and 46 minutes, if you do want to get a trade, take that trade, right? Use that workforce, go into the workforce, then go get your regular schooling so you can make good money versus working like, this is no shade to anybody that works at McDonald's, Walmart, anything. But if you want to work a better job and enter the workforce and get guaranteed hours, do that. Then just go to school regular and go to school for something, hopefully, like we talked about earlier, like hopefully AI, computer science, like G said, hold up, G said cybersecurity. I'm sorry. G said cybersecurity. I wrote that down. Like cybersecurity is the move. So if you want to go to school for cybersecurity, just go ahead and take the money from your workforce job and then go to school for cybersecurity. Then now when you stay off campus, you got a way to pay for rent. You going to school, you making your way through, and you don't got to rush. You don't have to rush. Now you're having ownership of your degree. I'm telling you, that's what I did. Except I decided to work at front desk. G said he worked at front desk too in college. That's why no computer science. No computer science where they focus on quantum. That's what G said right there. No computer science where they focus on quantum cybersecurity. That's what G said. So on top of that. So quantum cybersecurity. That's interesting. And G said, I did work as an administrative assistant. And I did. That was my job through undergraduate. I worked the front desk. So, G, you must be handsome. You must be handsome to work the front desk, G. Hey, Alice Marie. G must be handsome to work the front desk as a male. Because I worked the front desk. And it wasn't intentional. But only universities will probably have some kind of studying. But only universities will probably have some kind of studying. Okay. So that's very good. That's very good. As we keep going through this Workforce Pell, it says many colleges lack the data tracking and staffing capacity necessary to meet these requirements quickly. Some policy experts are concerned that institutions rush to qualify could undercut program quality. So what does that mean? That means not you calling you. What? I didn't call myself handsome. Put words in my mouth. And so I'm just playing. So good catch though. See, you can't get stuff past G. You can't get stuff past G. You just be catching stuff. And so I mostly did emails, files, and a lot of organizing. Yeah, that's why I got all my organizational skills from as well. Alice Marie gonna be like, what are y'all talking about? Alice Marie gonna be like, what are y'all talking about? And so this means like concerned that institutions rush to qualify could undercut program quality. So what that means is like you might have X, Y, and Z two-year college. I know I'm talking bad about my two-year colleges right now, or universities. You might have a XYZ community college rushing to get a program that is not needed. And it can hurt them dramatically because they're not going to be turning over. They're not going to be having a good return on investment. Students are going to the programs. And they are not even like getting jobs afterwards. They're just like, schools will do this just to get money. And then once the program gets cut, they're like, I don't need the program no more. They're like, we could just take the money from it if it works like that. I don't know if it works like that. That is just very opinionated to me. Don't hold me hostage on that. G said, also, I think I'm handsome at least, and my grandma thinks so. Yo. That's all that matters. That's all that matters, family. Keep your family close. Drake. I think Drake made a song about that. Off topic, real quick. What is in the rules? Okay, my boy Nicholas Kent said something right here. So real quick, off topic. You know, all of my let's just be friends. Friends I don't have anymore. How do you go? What's the lyrics right here? All of my let's just be friends are friends I don't have anymore. How do you check on me when things go wrong? Guess I should have tried to keep my family closer, much closer. Hey, come on, that's a classic right there. Drake. Shout my YouTube channel out. Put me on, man. Shout my YouTube channel out. Come on, man. Always saw you for what you could have been. Ever since you met me, like when the Chrysler made that one car. Then it comes back. Hold on, what a hook at? What a hook at? What a hook at? All of my let's just be friends. Friends I don't have anymore. Come on, man. It's just that right there. That's all I need to hear. I don't need to hear nothing else. Come on. It's just like, that's just what it's about right there, man. That's just what it's all about. G said, she about to come in there and tell you to log off for me. You blew my speakers. It'll sound better when I get the headphones, and when I get the microphone, headphones and stuff, when I level up a little more, it's gonna sound clean. Then Drake gonna put me on the song, and then it's gonna be Mr. Debt Free, future Mr. Debt Free, and I'm gonna say that one line: debt free degree, go and get your debt free degree. Hey, it's fun. Hey. Not that it's fun. Are you saying I'm stern? Future with Drake and the Works coming soon, man. It's coming. We talk about education on there. It's coming. So this is a game changer. I quote, this is a game changer for those ready to take charge of their futures and enter the workforce equipped with the skills that they need to succeed, said Nicholas Kent, the Trump administration's top higher education official. He's a top, bro. He is really top ranking. This is not about creating a dual track system in higher education. Rather, this work is about demonstrating that short-term and traditional programs are not mutually exclusive. Make sure you put hella auto-tune, not hella auto-tune. I think I'm more stern, LOL, but I feel you very academic. I appreciate that. And Alice Marie said, make sure you put hella auto-tune. Oh, we will. And I'm going platinum. I'm going platinum for sure. For sure. I already got some diss tracks coming for schools. I already got my diss tracks coming. It's over. It's over. I'm telling you, it's over. They're going to be like, who is this guy? It's over with. We'll be under a whole nother like underground alter ego type. King Cole like Drake. Not Drake, like J. Cole. I'm going to be under a whole nother alter ego underground. Have a studio and everything. So they're saying like, what is in the rules? Thousands of institutions already offer these type of short-term programs. Let me see. Who are these short-term institutions? We are about to learn something. Credentials at work. Employer perceptions of short-term credentials. Guys, you see, this is public. This is free information. This is free information. This is free information. Like, I'm just clicking on links and going into things. Like, I guess I'm gonna download this report real quick. Oh man, you already know what this means. They're gonna be emailing me like crazy. We're not gonna do that right now. They're not gonna get me on that right now. I'm gonna keep it up though. Let me close out some of these tabs. I need that tab. So thousands of institutions already offer these types of short-term programs, but per the department's newly proposed regulations, not all will make the grade. Now let's see what this takes us. Interesting. Oh, it's one of these documents. Oh, it's one of these, man. It's one of those. Don't feel like going through a law document. This is law stuff. I'm telling you, man, I should have went to school for law as much as I read law documents sometimes. Use your ad email. You should have one at this age. I don't have one. I don't have one. That's not like a song. I don't have one. Jeez, I have like 9 emails. Man, I got to get right. I got like 4 or 3 right now. So there's some very good details in here. Like just an example, I think this is what I'm looking for actually. Eligible program. A minimum of 15 weeks of instruction beginning at the first day. Oh my goodness. It's a lot. Programs must meet a minimum. They put it right here for us. Good. That's good. So, and that's some organization for you guys, man. Like for real, having 9 emails is really important. You should have a personal email for jobs, of course. You should have an email like GSET for ads. You should have an email for subscriptions. You should have an email for like some people got bills. Like you should have, unless you really check them, you should do that. Some people combine them and have thousands of emails. And never look at it again. G said, and never look at it again. Exactly. G said, well, you need an ad email, the one you give when you want to do stuff exactly like that. It's an organization thing. Exactly. Exactly. And so that's some game for you high schoolers out there as you step into the real world. Like I didn't do that. I used to stack everything in my one email. And so luckily I caught myself. I wasn't a big subscriptions person or nothing like that. So it was easy to cancel that stuff and get back to normal. But some people it's too late and they just need to make a new email. I feel it. So right here, it says programs must be, oh yeah, we did cover this a little bit. It says programs must be, they got more details though. Programs must be a minimum of 8 weeks, but less than 15 weeks of instruction or 600 clock hours. The department said this week it expects more workforce Pell Grant qualifiers to fall into the following categories: healthcare programs, parentheses, nursing aides, technicians, EMTs, paramedics. Like these are already like short term. Like these are already here. These are already at 2-year colleges. Programs for earning commercial driver license, that's already at some 2-year colleges. Now, some 2-year colleges might not have those, but these are at 2-year colleges, at least in Georgia. And then you can something like incognito or something to go through your email for you and cancel stuff on your behalf. I see what you did there on my behalf. Speaking on my behalf. Speaking on my behalf. You see what he did there? Speaking on my behalf. You see? Behalf, man. That's why we trademark that. That's why we trademark that. Google slightly offers that now. G hit the punchline on them. And vehicle operation certifications, technical programs. Look, welding, automotive, computer and information services, and child care related programs. These programs are already at community colleges, people. If you didn't know, they're already there. Governors, in consultation with state advisory boards, will determine eligibility. The programs need to provide instruction that aligns with high skill, high wage, or in-demand industry sectors as determined by individual states' needs. So wherever your state needs, that is going to be in demand. Where some people might say, oh, that's good. Hoo-wah, yeah. And they might say, oh, yeah, I can finally go get this. And then be like, oh, your state, this doesn't qualify. The state doesn't need this job right now. So you really can't do it under this. But like I said, it's going to vary. It's going to vary in different states. So I always tell people keep that in mind because they go by federal, state, local. So I don't know if they're going to count the local. I don't know if they said they're going to worry about states, but who knows? They might even narrow it down to what the local area needs because that's why they call it. All right, how SpongeBob say? Imagination. And I might say, that's why they call it a community college. It's local. So G said, I understand. Yeah, I understand why they did it like that. But I think that would be the biggest problem. Yep. That would be his biggest problem. And so as we keep going, states will establish their own process for institutions to request approval for workforce programs, but colleges must provide data that allows states to calculate program outcomes using wage records and other administrative data. Pell Grant funding is contingent upon programs meeting at least 70% completion and placement rate. I will zoom in for you all. I feel like zoom in. Yeah, that's a zoom in right there. Boom, 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 Pell Grant funding, contingent, And then they said, it went there 180 days using this information. The Secretary of y'all know who the Secretary of Education is, right? The Secretary of Education will issue the final approval for funding. You know what that means? If it makes it to Linda, she's just going to sign it off. Why? Because Linda got AI and A1 state sauce messed up. Linda, I love you. Linda, I love you, but you embarrassed me that day. You embarrassed me that day with that. You embarrassed me. You called AI A1 state sauce. You embarrassed me. How do I vouch for you in that situation? How do I vouch for you? We are not at a barbecue. How do I vouch for you? How do it makes me look? I'm educated. And I say that's my Secretary of Education. How does that make me look? I probably lost a subscriber that day. Thanks, Linda. I lost a subscriber that day, probably. Thank you, Linda. Thank you. So G said, I love WWE, Linda, but not Secretary Linda. It comes so fast. Like, you be doing so good, and you be like, I love this person just because they provided me a childhood experience that a lot of people just came together on. Like, you know, dang, we were doing so good in the early days, man. We were unifying. We were doing so good. And now we're creating a division again. But G, we're not going to talk about that. We're not going to talk about that. G said, I ain't never loved Secretary. That slang came out, didn't it? G, don't talk about that. Don't talk about that, G. Don't talk about division. Don't talk about divisionists. Don't go down that rabbit hole, G. I know you, G. G be like, it's a reason for that division being created. Don't do that, G. Do not do that. Because G will have his channel turning into a dang I don't even know what they call them channels. Conspiracy and not even conspiracy. G will probably pull some facts up, but we don't need that. And then, so they're saying there's going to be some policy experts caution. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think nobody is a policy expert in this no more. I'm just gonna be real. I'm gonna be real with you guys. I don't think there's no policy experts right now. Because I'm be honest with you, I don't think, like I said, we're nonpartisan. I praise them and I don't praise them. I don't praise them. I don't praise I praise the Republicans when they do something that's actually good and I down them. I praise Democrats when they do something good and I down them. But we don't have nobody that's really qualified right now in the Secretary of Education, respectfully. So when they say some policy experts are caution, it depends on who's doing it. Really. And so that's where the politics and institutional theory comes in a little bit right there. And so G said policy experts read the policies, and so I guess you saying no one really reading the policies. LOL. Can't be. That is so true. Can't be. They can't be. Hey, we haven't had that higher education app updated since 07, 08. And when I start going to conferences, I'm going to be like my guy here. I've been waiting to do this. Let me surprise G. I've been waiting to do this. For so long. Because when I go to conferences, I'm going to be like this. They're going to hate me at conferences. What's his name? Big. This is gonna be me. G said, I think if you enjoy cars, if you like political theory type stuff. Okay, I'm gonna check them out. Appreciate that, G. Give me something to watch over the holidays while I'm bored out my mind a little bit. Enjoying family, but bored. I can't sit here and talk to G or talk to the camera and express myself, about saving money in college and starting at a 2-year college. That is the book. Oh, that's a book? It's a book? He says a book and it's boring. We'll see. The concept of the political. I've been trying to get books from my mentor / supervisor at work, and he has not gave me my books yet. At all. I told him over the holidays, I want them books. He got like books on like medieval universities and stuff, like talking about how Aristotle and them used to charge like per seat or charge like for information. I know it sounds like today, but they used to actually charge people to come to their school. Like Aristotle had his own school. It's crazy, like medieval universities. I'm trying to learn about that because I feel like it's going to help with the channel a little bit, like look into some historical things. And so he has a deep collection of that stuff. And I feel like books are going to go extinct. So I feel like there'll be good books to pass on to, family members in the future, kids, just making them understand the value of higher education. G said, LOL, yeah, philosophy schools were big business. Yeah, see, yeah. See, G, I love you, G. See, look, that's why I got to do this. Hold on. See, G gets it, man. This is why I love G. This is why I love you, G. This is why I love you. See, that's why I love you, G. So I want to play this. Like I said, when I start going to conferences and I'm trying to bring my perspective and be respected by these other so-called professionals talking about higher education, bringing my exemplification, perspective, whatever they want to call it, this is how I'm gonna be. This is how I'm gonna be.
Zero. There is a 0% chance that your subprime losses will stop at 5%. Zero. Excuse me. I have to take this.
He must be from Bank of America.
They're gonna say you must. They're gonna tell me. What they're gonna tell me, G? They're gonna tell me, man, you must be with you must be with a community college. It was like, whoa. I'm like, hey, yeah, that's gonna be me. But Aristotle is pre-medieval by a lot, LOL. For sure. For sure. Aristotle, yeah. I need to learn about that guy. That's exactly what they would say. Yeah, they're gonna be like, you must be with the community colleges or something. I'm like, yeah, I'm coming. I'm going to be coming hard in the paint. Why your tuition keeps rising? Oh, it's because we have dorm. I don't want to hear your dorms or your whatever, your fancy meals. I don't want to hear that. I want to know why. Those are excuses. But you ride for yours though, and that's pretty cool. Got to, man. Got to. Phi Beta Lambda. Gotta ride for him, man. Gotta, you know what I'm saying? Gotta, hey, come over here, G. We'll take G. We'll take G on the lineup. We'll take G. We'll take G. And so I think we're almost, we're pretty far. We're making good strides in this. What session is this? What is then the rules? So they're talking about the rules, and we were talking about the policies, right? G said most schools won't be able to justify their. Ooh, it's so. Ooh.
Exorbitant.
Of price or amount charged, unreasonably high. Yo, that is what G need to be a ghostwriter for me when I start like really, when I start like really rapping and singing songs. I'm coming to G for some lyrics. I'm coming to G for some lyrics. I'm gonna be like exorbitant. I said
exorbitant.
I'm gonna say, oh yeah, I'm charging futures for exorbitant prices. They're gonna be like, what? I'm like, can't tell you. I'm still pro V and pro highly selective university. Ghostwriting, maybe I already do. Got to. Because them word plays be crazy, yo. Them word plays be crazy. Those word plays be crazy, though. For real. Respectful. G said, I am pro Ivy and pro highly selective university. I know. But right now, today, you with us. Today, you with us. Today. I used to write speeches, though. Cool fact. Cool. We can talk about that at the end of this screen. And then getting through this right here, I feel like this is important. I know we was talking about policy. Some policy experts caution that persistent data gaps will affect a timely rollout, both for states and the institutions eager to comply. And I think we didn't say this, but right here in quotations, if there isn't enough data at the institutional level that can be rolled up to the state level to inform these decisions, then we are really looking at a lot of potential harm to current and future students who wish to take advantage of the workforce pale. Said to Tanya, I'm going to say just Ms. Garcia, but Tanya Garcia, Vice President of the Institute for College and Access, NCES. Garcia said only 5% of all short-term credentials are currently stackable or build toward a larger degree of certification, meaning the vast majority of existing programs will have to make adjustments to be eligible under the new rules. And honestly, they're not making those changes fast enough. Why? The reason they're not making those, these changes fast enough, man, is like, I don't know, man. I feel like they're just focused on sports. Like, I feel like big universities are focused more on sports, and Instead of they will put more money into a stadium, uniforms, and it's not even me picking on sports. This is just me like being realistic. Like higher education does not have the manpower. They don't have the manpower. If you go to any college besides the schools like Ivies and top tier like G, but even though the top tiers are usually like, it can be great from a student perspective, right? But as a staff perspective or a instructor perspective, sometimes they be understaffed or I don't want to say under instructor, but sometimes they be understaffed overall. And it's because like it's just like a business, right? You got to reinvest into your operating budget to keep the operation running. And sometimes schools don't pay attention to that until needed. And so that's just, y'all see my sleep. Oh, y'all can't see it. I don't think y'all can see it. Like bleach. But yeah, I just strongly feel I get what they're saying. And it's always gonna hurt students because students will be like, oh yeah, I'm trying to do the workforce Pell thing. I'm trying to hurry up and get a certification for this and use my workforce Pell. G said, not gonna lie, no bias. Columbia actually has the highest average pay for professors, LOL, at least when I was there. Right. And so, and then other schools don't take that approach, at least for what I know. Usually professors are paid, but like staffing, like when they need data, in this instance, they might need data from financial aid, for example, right? They might need data from, like they say, institutional data. And so normally that's like, this department passes the data, then blah, 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 blah. Like, depending on how they do it, because every institution has their own, like, process. Perfect word. Every institution has their own process. And so students are going to feel it. It's always going to be people that fall for this, you know, because like I said, people don't watch our live streams yet. And there's going to be people who might not agree with it, and they might watch it, and they might still do their own thing. So Garcia is not lying. Garcia is stating the reality. And there, right here, Garcia said there's already a lot of chaos and confusion in state budgets, especially the higher ed budgets are really contracting. Is that the word? It's contracting right now? Higher ed and are really contracting right now.
Contract.
Yeah. So shrink, I didn't know contract means like to decrease. I didn't know that, like decrease or shrink. So higher budgets are decreasing right now, shrinking. They should have signified and said universities. It should have been more specific because they are shrinking. My institution is expanding. So I can't speak for nobody university. That is why I swiftly left my university job at Georgia Tech. Honestly, I don't feel like they're going to need that department in the near future. If that department is still there, I'll be surprised. But the first step, the first sign and indicator of my old job, respectfully, was that they merged. When I heard about them merging, I was already trying to leave the job because it was toxic and stuff. But like them merging is the first sign. The next thing is like, why do we need this? How many people, like, from the whole time that program ran, straight up, from the whole time that program ran, I remember the person saying like one of their students who started off in it, doing the program, like participating in it in the summer and stuff, only one really got the spotlight that they know of, that actually went to Georgia Tech, graduated from Georgia Tech, and actually started off doing the program from the beginning, what I used to work at Georgia Tech in that department. So if only one student done that in the past, I don't know how many years, that's not really, and I get the point of it. It's supposed to be exposure for kids. You think you locked in on content? Oh, 100%. 100%. I'm 110 locked in, G. I'm already trying to put together some strategic some marketing. I'm trying to like really get out there in the streets, as we like to say. I'm trying to get out there, like networking, conferences, anything to get my hands on people knowing about this channel. And so G said, after an experience like that, after an experience like that, after an experience like that, after working at Georgia Tech, and then I'm gonna be honest with you, it was a lot of brilliant minds there, like a lot of doctors, a lot of brilliant professors I got to talk to, a lot of brilliant students I got to talk to, but more like on the staff and working side, you probably got to get into high school. You probably got to get into high schools, and I got to reach the parents. The problem we're having too, I'm gonna get back to that story too. The problem we're having with higher education as well is parents are letting students make decisions, and students are not able to make decisions about college. Now, me and UG, we was on a different level with it, but is that parents got to start entering back and learning this themselves. So parents got to start wanting to learn this for their kids as well. G said, even as a public school, Georgia Tech is up there as a top tier university. They are. And then G said, students have to make their own decisions, especially because they are adults. True. But that's what we got to start meeting them halfway. This is the education coming out of me. We have to meet them halfway and help them. Students have to learn to make better decisions. They do. And we have to guide them on them. They're not even getting good guidance. And so when I was at Georgia Tech too, it is not tall like it used to. And so the Georgia Tech, it's just like people really didn't, it's like people, G, you probably know this, man. It's like people just look over to your colleges. Like, people really feel like Georgia Tech showed me that many people don't know about community colleges, and people look down on community colleges as well. I know we talked about that, but people really just feel like it's just there, like being a school like Georgia Tech and the type of high level people they have, they just be like, it's cool. I wouldn't do it though. My kid wouldn't do it though. Yeah, they're shunned and never considered by most. Yeah, it's like my kid will never go there, but I support it, and it always bites some parents in the butt. I'm talking about parents who make good money because they know their kid is not as focused. So then they send their kid to community college and they don't brag about it. The parents don't brag about it. The kid don't brag about it. I had so many conversations with people, they always mention the university, but then when we have conversation, then they mention, when I say, oh, I started at 2-year college, then I bridged to Valdosta State. When I started at Columbus Tech, I then bridged to Valdosta State. Then they say, oh, I started at 2-year too. And I'm like, oh, you wasn't going to mention it until I mentioned it? Like, had to, And so G said, because there isn't much prestige attached to it. Yeah, it is a lot of prestige attached to it, though. That money, hey, that's the prestige right there, G. That money, like I tell people, like, hey, it's kind of like it's like an interview. It's like people say, man, they had me on the interview and they ask, like, is there any money in community colleges? I'll be like, yes, a lot of money in community colleges. That's where I got my start at. I'll be telling them, like, think about it. If everybody trying to tap into a big school, top tier school, and you don't get in, and then you don't get as much money because they already gave money to some other students, all that money could be yours at another school. Who wants to go to a 2-year college? Go, it's just like the stock market. Go where nobody's talking about this company. When people start talking about this company, oh, it's time for me to go. That's one of the reasons why I shaved half the Palantir. When people started talking about Palantir, time to go. Because now we got fake investors inside the company. Now we got people who really don't care about the company and they just hear the money thing about the company. The same thing with everything in life. When trends get started, people wearing this crazy fashion. Sorry, people, I'm talking about your fashion. People wearing crazy fashion. I'm not dressing like you. No, I'm going to go away from you and find something new. Then you want to do what I do. And I'm going to leave that once you get on the train with that. How you stay ahead? So G said high school students may only get high school students may only get guidance from the counselor to go to 4 years, and every few tell them to go to 2-year colleges. In all honesty, counselors are severely overworked and cannot really connect with their students like they should. That's why they need to come hire me. Let me come tell the story for them. Come put me on payroll as a vendor, guidance counselors. Come put me on payroll. And so G said, I have a friend where she is the only counselor for a school of about 500 students. Now that's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. That poor baby. That is ridiculous. And then G said, trends are trends for a reason, LOL. I was talking about the fashion right there. I think G, yeah. And then G said, exactly, you fill the gap, because I'm trying. It's so hard to get into K-12 schools, and I'm trying to find networking events to network with K-12 people. They are so stingy. K-12 people are so stingy. They are so stingy. You would think they would hurry up and want you to come talk to the kids. Come talk to the kids. They be like, what you do? What school you went to? You educated? I'm like, golly, come on. Show me some sympathy. I opened the statement saying I went to college. G said, yeah, there's no way she's offering guidance to 500 students. Yeah, some of that. She probably using AI for them emails with them parents. Parents go crazy. I'm going to be honest with you. I can't imagine what parents look like in high school. Because parents at community colleges, when I be academic advising, parents go crazy for their kids in college. And that, I can't imagine high school. Oh my goodness. Guidance counselors, parents, you should get hazard pay for dealing with parents like that. You got to get hazard pay because you got to have the patience, the diplomatic maneuvers to make sure you don't rub them the wrong way. Then that could be a whole nother thing, having a meeting with your principal, whoever you that's oh my goodness. G said, yeah, they are stingy because of the paperwork and the setup time stuff. Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. I have so much respect. I just be patient with them. I really do. I don't be give them a hard time when I reach out and all that other stuff, because I just know I relate to it. I'm dealing with your students you had in high school. I'm dealing with them. They're trying to go to college. They're trying to figure out what they want to take. So I feel them 110%. So as we go through here, they're talking about accredited already again. To try to safeguard integrity, the education department's proposed rules say a program must operate through an accredited higher education institution and meet the eligibility standards. Accredited. Guys, remember, this is why I say always go to an accredited institution. If the institution is not accredited, don't go there. Don't go there. How do you know if an institution is accredited? Go to the Department of Education website. Oh, it's not out there. I'm sorry, guys. Go to the Department of Education. Go to the Department of Education website, and it's on here. I won't show us right now because I'm trying to get back on this, but you go on there and you can find it. It's simple as that. Now, that's how you find out if an institution is accredited, because a lot of students waste years and money going to schools like that. And then G said, I think a counselor who really cares will let you in. 110%. I appreciate that. That's a real testimony from G. Oh, we're going to keep going. We're going to get into them too. We're going to get them. We're going to get into these schools. Everything is on time. Everything is on time. Well, for starters, if you have to ask, you probably shouldn't go there. G said, for starters, if you're trying to see if they're accredited, you shouldn't go there. You shouldn't go there. That is true. If you're trying to figure out, that is a pink flag, essentially red flag. Shout out to my old coworker at my old job, at my last job at Georgia Tech. See, one thing about me, people should give me credit for that. Even though we might not see eye to eye, I still give you credit when you come up with good quotes. Because pink flags do turn to red flags. And that was some game right there. I was like, yeah, that's game right there. And so, and then they said, remember we said accredited higher education institution and meet the eligibility standards for at least 1 year before receiving state approval. Colleges will be restricted from outsourcing more than 25% of any workforce program to third-party vendors. Colleges will be restricted from outsourcing more than 25% of any workforce program to third-party vendors. That sounds like some money involved. That sounds like some money involved right there. That sounds like some money. G said, also, not gonna lie, my friend, she works at a Title I school, so she ain't getting many parent emails, to be honest. That is so bad. That is so bad. That's so bad. But I get it. My mom did not have an email. I get my mom emails now, but my mom didn't have an email, really. She used to be like, y'all better call my phone. She said, y'all better call my phone. Y'all better call my phone. Like, dang, man. That, G said, that is definitely a money thing, for sure. For sure. That is bad, but it's the Title I school for a reason. A program's total cost of tuition and fees must be less than the median earnings. A program's total cost of tuition and fees must be less than the median earnings of graduates their years post-completion. After adjusting for local cost of living and 150% of federal poverty line. Bro, what? I am copying and pasting that to G. And then G said, I think the shortage in trade work could potentially be fixed with apprenticeship programs. That's a good take. That's a really good take. That's a really good take. I like that take. And if the program fails to meet completion or placement rates, it will have to wait 2 years to reapply. If the program fails to meet completion or placement rates, it will have to wait 2 years to reapply. They say that, guys, but they always help schools out. Now, they will take that accreditation. G said, I think things like this is why these programs are so complicated, right? Carolyn Fast, Director of Higher Education Policy and a Senior Fellow at the Century Foundation, a left-leaning think tank, says she was pleased to see the stringent accountability language. She was pleased. Okay. She quotes, the standards are going to make it complicated and somewhat challenging for states and higher ed institutions to navigate the process to qualify for this money. But I think that the guardrails in place are actually really helpful, Fast said. Even if colleges can navigate these hurdles, deeper financial problems loom. Congress allocated $10.5 billion to the Pell Grant program in July to avoid a complete depletion of the program reserves. But a recent report from the Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget, from the Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget, a think tank that supports decreasing government spending, projects it will still face a budget shortfall of at least $61 billion over the next 10 years. And workforce Pell Grants could add $2 billion to $6 billion in added costs. I understand, but I think a lot of these rules are just to ensure minimum amount of money is being spent or given out. Yep. And what do they do with that other money? Who knows? Southern Cross University. I did not look this school up. I don't know why they're advertising it to me, but okay. So in all matrimony, I'm just going to go with Garcia, and then we're going to do a school review. I think I'm going to do Caltech, G. because G was like, Caltech is pretty popular, and I don't know nothing about Caltech, so I'm interested to get some information from G on this, because G knew about Caltech. I never heard of Caltech. I really worry about, Garcia says, I quote, I really worry about the role. I really worry about what the role employers need to continue to play in many states where there has been funding set aside for short-term credentials, said Garcia. Workforce Pell Grants, she said, are going to require a lot of great data, a seamless articulation and transfer system. I love that right there. I just love hearing that. Transfer agreements on my life. And an assurance to students that we are going to do right by them. Because at least in community college world, they do right by us. Universities, you on your own. You on your own. You on your own at universities. You on your own. Universities couldn't get me if they threw a bag on my table. And I will show G. If I got recruited by a university and they threw a bag at me to come there, because I'm a dope academic advisor. I told my coworker that today. I said, hey, I'm different with this academic advisor. I'm different. Hey, these students know I care about them. I'm different with it. These universities wish they had my talent. Humbly, respectfully. So G said, LOL, Caltech is overly popular. I never heard of it. Oh, G said, oh, I just seen it too. G said, they say, oh, G said, what G said? What G said? They say, they say, oh, look, this program is fully utilized. We should cut the program. And then G said right here, I apply to Columbia and see if you get the job. I should, huh? I should mess with Columbia, huh? Columbia don't know what to do with my talent. Columbia I might intimidate Columbia. G like, yeah, right. G like, yeah, okay. G like, okay. So let's see. What's this school? Real quick. I never heard of Caltech. G said, I think if you get the job, I think you'll get the job if you say the right things. That is so interview of you. You know you be doing interviews. You know G does interviews. Oh, I hit my camera. You know G does interviews. G said, I think you will get the job if you say the right things. Like, come on now. G like, you have a pretty face and a friendly demeanor. Right? Right? They like, whoa, what are they talking about, guys? If you're new to the chat and you're joining the live stream, we have that type of dynamic. Don't take it the wrong way. We have that dynamic. Calm down. What is Caltech? Caltech. Yo. Oh, it's called the California Institute of Technology. I never heard of this school. Never heard of this school. Never heard of this school at all. Yo, this is going to be interesting. Who went to this school? Let me go ahead and share my screen. Who went to this school? What I already knew was private. Kip Thorne, Lennox Paulden, William Shockey, Gordon Moore. I never heard of none of these people. You heard of these people before? I never heard of none of these people. Never heard none of these people. I bet they got a lot of wealth though. What he do? American theoretical physics and writer. American chemist. I knew it. No, he won the Nobel Peace Prize. and the Nobel Peace Prize in chemistry. You're doing good, computer. You've been running pretty good. You're doing really good. I'm proud of you, computer. I'm proud of you. You working. You really are working. So this is Caltech. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I just want to look at their website because I've never heard of them at all. Never heard of them. So it's California Institute. It's the California, I think California of Institute. California Institute of Technology. So quick question. I should know this, but I don't know this. Does every state have like their own, like Georgia Institute of Technology, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, California Institute of Technology? I know Alabama don't have their own Alabama Institute of Technology. I know Alabama don't have one. I know Mississippi don't have one. Like, do most states have one? G said no, LOL. I be roasting states sometimes on accident, man, because I just know like they're so far behind on stuff. Like, it just be like, bruh, like your state is trash. Like, don't take it personal. It's just trash. It's like, it's trash, man. It's like, it's just trash. Like, look at what they're doing. Like, this is going to be an interesting review of this college. It's going to be an interesting review. It's going to be an interesting review. So, all right, let's get to, I know you lying. Is this accurate? Is this accurate? G said, G want me to say that. You have to be pretty sciencey to know a lot of their Nobel alumni. Okay. And G said a lot of their Nobel alumni are scientists and researchers. Interesting. I wonder, do they let me use their library? I want to use their library if I can, but they're private, so I probably can't use the library. G, let me get your Columbia access so I can go into y'all library. Let me get y'all Columbia access. Let me get your Columbia access so I can get into y'all library, your school library. I want to get some of the books out of there digitally. Come on, share the books, G. Share the information, G. G's not gonna share the information. So we're gonna do a review. Caltech and G. G like, see how people act different when you want to get books. All right, look, real quick before I start the review. Before I start this review of Caltech, I don't remember none of that LOL anyway. All right. So people act funny when you want books and information. Remember that. G give out a lot of information, but I said I want them books. G said, ha 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 ha. When you want them books, people get funny about them books. But all right, because I gotta clip this. Then I'll talk to G to about 3 hours. I think I'll be done in 3 hours. We'll see. G gonna get like 5 to 10 minutes of just talking real quick before we go. Might as well. So California Institute of Technology, guys. I'll be honest with you. I'll keep that in mind. Yeah, because they public too. So California Institute of Technology, It's a 4-year private nonprofit, city, small, and G said they are Ivy adjacent, by the way. They're Ivy adjacent. So they literally have 1,000 undergraduate students, guys, at least at the moment. They're small. They're very small. And so they have a 94% graduation rate. And then the average annual cost, they're saying when you use financial aid, your average annual cost is going to be like $19,000 a year pretty much. So that's like $9,000 per semester. And then, of course, we like to fact check it. And remember, always go to that magnifying glass. I'm always saying it. I'm going to start saying it less and less unless student asks me how I did that. Student and fees. So then I go to costs. You see how they got cost financial aid, but we're kind of on something like that already. Let's see what it does, though. So you see how much they're charging. $65,000 in tuition. Overall, they're charging $93,000, pretty much $94,000 for the year. Is that for the year? For the year, yeah, to go there. So you do 94 divided by 2, but I'm gonna save you the headache. It's a lot of money. And so, but you're like, what? It's only $9,000 on Department of Education's College Scorecard. Yes, because when you factor in your financial aid based on your family income, which is on here, if you look at it right here, you know, it shows you right here, average annual costs. You can get more detail with a financial aid specialist. I don't have one on here. I don't think my financial aid specialist responded to me. Nope. So, but you see the big difference, right? And so then as we keep going, because it's $94,000 a year. If you paying out of pocket, there's $94,000 a year. But if you got some financial aid, depending on your situation, 19 a year. 19 a year, which is $8,000 a semester. I hope I didn't say that wrong at first. 19. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know why I said 1902. I know why I said that before. But if you do $19,000 a year, it's going to be, let me get my calculator. Because I already know I probably said something wrong. I can cut it, though. 19,000 divided by 2. Yeah, it's 8. No, it's 9.5. I don't know why I was thinking 8. It's 9.5. 9,500. 9,500 it should be. And so, hold up. Is it 9,500? Now I got me wondering. Yeah, 9,500. Just making sure. 9,500. So they're saying you can make $129,000. Where that comment G said? Hold on, pause. Pause. Who said with no money in education? Hold on right quick. Where G said that at? G said a lot of their Nobel alumni are scientists and researchers. And we looked it up. There are a lot of scientists that won Nobel Peace Prizes. And he said researchers. That's a lot of their alumni. Look how much money they're making. Look how much money they're making. Come on now. It's money in education. Don't let them tell you that. $129,000 a year within 10 years, they broke the meter. They broke the meter. Man, let's keep going. So graduation rate is 94%, as we said before. Students, 98% of the time stay there. 98% of the time students stay there. Why? They doing something great over there. They made me want to do a tour. They probably got it on YouTube already. I want to do a tour for myself so I can exaggerate things. Financial aid. So only 4% receive federal loans. Whoa, I never seen that before. They said the data is not available. They're saying like, look, the debt after they graduate don't matter because we get too much money over here. That's what that said. That's what that just said. That's what that just said. Look at this. I never seen this before for a school. Different. I'm different. Yeah, I'm different. They different. Now, remember what I said, guys. If you want to go to school, G said they're Ivy adjacent, but always go to the school and see what the diversity look like for yourself. Because I don't have no idea what diversity could look like here. And they have such a small amount of students, which is very good because it looks like their instructor can focus on you. G said, I hate to be that guy, LOL, but a lot of that salary has to do with the fact that it's Caltech. Hey, if getting Caltech on my resume, you are good, G. If I got to go to Caltech and get a salary like that, I'm going to Caltech. If you going to Caltech and you say, oh, I ain't know about Caltech, I'm going to look them up. I did my job. I did my job because I didn't even know about Caltech. I said, it was funny though. G said, I'm saying it's name recognition like Columbia. Right. I get exactly what you're saying, G. Because G was like, Caltech is very popular. And I'm like, it is? Because we was looking at the association member. I forgot the American Association. I forget the name of it. The AAU, with all the respected research institutions, guys. And so that's how this came about. So, yeah. Name and test scores, they have a 3% acceptance rate. Hey, you get into the school, get your shirt that say 3%. I'm a 3%er. Get your shirt and say I'm a 3%er because you got in there. They said the California Institute of Technology has an acceptance rate of 3%. California Institute of Technology does not require admission test scores during the application process and does not recommend that students provide them. So, what do I rate this school? I think it speaks for itself. What's higher than an A? An S. But this school right here, man, it needs no rating. I feel like it's they should be rated R for grown-ups because they lethal like that. This school is lethal. This school is exceptional. It speaks for itself. I really honestly believe it speaks for itself. Now, as far as price wise, if we want to have that little conversation real quick, which will be in this video, if you made it this far to watch it through when I clip it, schools like this, guys, like G said, they have name recognition. G said it has name recognition like Columbia. So if you put this school on your resume and you went there, you're set essentially. There's really, you can watch me for entertainment, I guess, but you're in the driver's seat, essentially. Columbia was like 2 when I went there. And so this is a school like, if you're still worrying about money, it's going to be challenging. I don't think, because G explained it to me like, you're going to get a lot of money to go to school when you go to bigger schools like this. They're going to do their best to help you and make sure you don't go into student loan debt. As we see here, they don't even have it up here. That could be a bad thing or a good thing, but they say only 4% of their students get federal loans. That's really good. If that number was higher, I'll be a little worried. But according to the College Scorecard, they're an exceptional school. It's really, like I said, I'm not going to nitpick them. If they got a sports team, their sports team is probably terrible. But with 1,000 students, you can't have a sports team, apparently. So this is what real academic looks like. And that will be all for the review. And shout out to the school. For the prices are still a little crazy, but I guess like G would say, the connections and all that, you will meet people and all the connections and money that you'll be set up with and experience. G said Caltech is really exceptional. And so, that's a real person speaking on that, guys, who knows more about the Ivy adjacents than I do. So, and I'll be real, I didn't know about this school. Didn't hear about it until I'm 26 years old. Didn't hear about this school until I'm 26 years old. So you have an advantage to hear about this school at 15, 14, 13, 12. If you're young, your parents might say, what's Caltech? And I'm in higher education. I didn't know what a Caltech was. So Shout out to G for recommending that, and we're gonna clip that. So we are almost at 3 hours, G. So we might as well get to 3 hours. How's the weather? I didn't want to go, but it is a good school. Why didn't you want to go to Caltech, G? Why didn't you want to go to Caltech, if you don't mind me asking? I didn't want to go, but it's a good school. Weirdly warm today. Wait till that come in. I really want to know why G didn't want to go to Caltech. I wanted to go to Columbia, LOL. That sounds a little biased. We're not buying it. Why? I know you want to go to Columbia, but I guess I see why. I guess I see why you wanted Columbia. There's really no explanation. I guess I see why. I guess. You know. So, G, I got a question. How you feel about Valdosta State? How you feel about Valdosta State since I went there? What do y'all think about schools like Valdosta State and stuff? That's my question. I want an Ivy perspective. Admittedly, I always though Columbia had the best value proposition. Okay. So how do you view it? I gotta give you time for it to hit you, but how you feel about Valdosta State? That's my school. Out of any state, out of any school, to be honest. What that mean? We waiting on G to respond. I thought Columbia had the best value proposition out of any school. But what what was your state school? G said, I always said you got a 2-for-1 deal with Columbia. Okay. Swiper, no swiping. Swiper, no swiping. Yeah. Yeah. I literally applied because they came to my high school and was pretty much offering guaranteed acceptance. Dang. And to the honor school. Interesting. Interesting. What you got planned for the holidays, G? Yeah, that's about me too. That sounds the same. Same. So we hit the 3-hour mark. We hit the 3-hour mark. Shout out to G. Shout out to G for staying for 3 hours with us on Friday. Guys, you don't have to sit here and watch this for 3 hours. I don't expect you to sit here and watch for 3 hours. I don't watch things that's on 3 hours. Watch it 30-minute increments or 10-minute increments. And Tuesday, LOL. Yes. Tuesday. Yes. I said Friday earlier. Tuesday. And you going live on Friday or something, LOL? I wish. Let me back. Because I feel like that give us time on the holidays. But that could change. It depends. If I'm bored, I'm coming back to work. Because nobody's doing anything. People are going into the new year. I feel like if people are going into the new year, they're like, I'm trying to figure out my college stuff. I'm trying to get that together. I'm trying to look for stuff. And I feel like it's just a good time for the new year. Christmas, I get it. Lay low, chill on the weekend. Yeah. What is fun? I can have fun when I'm 60. I can have fun. I enjoy talking to you too, G. I enjoy you as well. I feel like I can have fun later when I turn 30. Right now, I'm in grind mode. So, yeah. Sure. Just got to be relentless. And so we are at 3 hours. Man, I ain't gonna be able to talk to G and talk about this stuff. That's gonna be hard for me, man. I'm gonna have to spend some time doing something. I might pick up a hobby in the meantime for a few days. You are. Yeah, you full of information. You full of a lot of information. Like a whole encyclopedia. You gotta share your books. Nope. Come on, man. I work for the state. Come on now. Work for the state. So state treat you right. At least in Georgia, they do. At least in Georgia, they treat you right. At least in Georgia, they treat you right a little bit. So then we gonna head out. See, G used to work. Y'all know G used to work for the 3-letter agency. And then we're gonna head out. Peace, chicken grease. G, I will see you. You know where to find me on LinkedIn. You know you want to find me on LinkedIn. And what's that other one? Find me on LinkedIn. DM me. If anybody got articles, send them to me. I would love to go through them and deep dive on them. Peace, chicken grease. And appreciate you, G. Alice Marie, and anybody who stopped by and then comment, I appreciate you.